This is a very unique opportunity that you have today to meet with the president of Georgetown University.
Right.
First, could you just talk about, with this national story about the Jesuit priests selling a number of slaves to sustain the university, and then how did you get involved in this story and this meeting today?
Well, the story started when they discovered that the Jesuit priests, and they're from Maryland, sold these enslaved people to a plantation in Maryland, Louisiana, which is my family home. And on the, I guess the documents that they discovered and they were able to read, Cornelius Hawkins' name came up. So they traced that name and they discovered that one of the descendants of Cornelius Hawkins was actually still living in Baton Rouge, Maxine Crump. And with all of the discovery and investigation, they realized that that was her great-great-grandfather and that his tombstone was still in Maryville, Louisiana. But in addition to that, there were 200 slaves, over 200 slaves that were, 270 slaves that were sold to the Maryland plantation. So my family is in the discovery phase. We're trying to find out who else was part of this movement by the Jesuit priests from Maryland. And the ironic part of this all is that my son graduated from Georgetown University in 2011. So that was really interesting because they are now, the school is, actually they renamed 2 buildings that were named after presidents that were in office during this time in the 1800s. So, you know, part of their trying to change things around, they've renamed the buildings. So they've taken their names off. So I was asking him, what building did you have class in? Where did you go to school? And so my cousin Jerry and I, and my brother Arnold, and then her children Miguel and Eric, have really been doing some research, trying to identify what other enslaved people were sold to the Maryland plantation. Because there are nothing but Crumps in Maryland. There's just tons of them. So it wasn't just that one person. So that's how this all started. And there have been articles in every paper, and they're always doing something with the story. I think the Advocate did something. There's been something on television, Washington Post, New York Times. So it continues.
How does that connection feel for you? Is there a bittersweet quality to it to have your son get his education at this institution and then know that they participated in the enslavement of your family?
You know, that's been interesting. I had not really had any bitterness about it. It was just, oh my goodness, you know, you may be a descendant of some of these slaves that came from this area. And then the biggest thing we're really trying to discover, if they were sold from Maryland, where were they before? Where did they actually originate from? So I'm excited about just putting these pieces together. I've got pictures that I don't have names for, and so hopefully this will help to identify some of those. I don't feel any bitterness about the fact that Jeremy was educated there. It just all is very interesting and something that I'm looking forward to connecting the dots.
So how did the meeting today come to be?
Well, in the article, it stated if you had any connections to Maryland to call the school. And so I did, and I first talked to a professor, Adam, I think it was Roman, and he was very interested in the story, and he put me in touch with the chief of staff of the president's office. So he called, and he was telling me that they were coming to Louisiana, they were going to Baton Rouge, and then when he realized from my email that was from Dillard University, he said, wait a minute, we've got a meeting on your campus. So we would love to talk to you. And I called my cousin Jerry Eli, and because she knows a lot of the family history. And so that's how we got here. That's how this happened. So So they were very excited about talking to us. They're on their way to Baton Rouge because the actual descendants of Cornelius Hawkins will meet with them tomorrow. I think it's 16 of them. And that's my cousin Maxine Crump and that part of the family, because they're related on her mother's side. That's her great-grandfather on her mother's side. She and I share the same great-great-grandfather on the Crump side. So it's been interesting. It's really been a discovery. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm not bitter about anything. I'm excited about it.